Using rentahitman.com, Danae requested that these individuals be taken out by using, quote, guns, bombs, or anything else that was necessary. After receiving
Yo!
This not a lie drill, nigga. This is not a fire drill, nigga. This the real thing.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy 40 Channels, 40 World. If you're new here or you're coming from my main channel, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Today we're going to be reacting to a video by Wavy Websurf. How this joke website put criminals in jail.
The internet's more criminal offerings are generally secluded to the dark web, but then there's a website like rentahitman.com. With its slogan, "The dark web is not safe, but we are," this apparent murder for hire service website exists.
I'm sorry, if you fell for that, you deserve whatever you got, bro. Come on, bro.
This on the normal internet. The page features testimonials from alleged customers who have supposedly hired hitmen using the page. And the page's existence becomes even more puzzling when you discover that Rent-A-Hitman has been publicly active and available since 2005. How have authorities not seized this domain and prosecuted the people behind this apparent contract killing operation? Well, buckle up, because I'm about to take you all down one of the internet.
I swear, like, these criminal, like, some of these dumb criminals think like the cops won't play dirty. Like, why do you, in your head, do you think like the cops won't use the same resources that you have access to try to get you?
Its most darkly intriguing rabbit holes. It's the tale of how one man's joke website ended up catching some of society's most dim-witted would-be killers, arresting dozens and potentially saving over 100 lives in the process. This is the story of rentahitman.com. The legacy of Rent-A-Hitman all begins with the website's creator, California man Bob Innes.
This is just a lot of solicitations from people around the world.
And I'm the webmaster of rentahitman.com, your point-and-click solution.
Yes, Innes runs rentahitman.com.
During Bob's time in university, the man studied risk analysis and computer network security. As a student, part of the man's curriculum involved him being tasked with network penetration assignments. Exercises where one essentially tried to find security exploits and vulnerabilities within computer systems so that they could be fixed in advance. It's called penetration testing. You can think of it as a form of white hat hacking, if you will. Bob had aspirations to become a pro penetrator, and him and a handful of colleagues would attempt to start up a business to do just that. The website that Bob purchased and created to advertise his services was none other than rentahitman.com. This name, Rent-A-Hitman, was a tongue-in-cheek joke playing off the fact that if hired, Bob was essentially contracted to help customers kill flaws in their own networks. He was a penetration testing hitman, if you will. Unfortunately though, this Rent-A-Hitman business idea never truly came to fruition, and after graduating college, his business partners had moved on. Bob, who had to spend some money on this now seemingly useless domain name, felt like, hey, maybe I could auction it off and get that little bit of cash back. But the man struggled to find any interested buyers, and eventually he got fed up with trying to sell it and simply put
That is a fire-ass name, though. Like, that is a fire-ass name. I can see why he tried to sell it.
Put up his email address on the front page of Rent-A-Hitman and went his separate ways, completely abandoning the site for some time. But after forsaking this project for some time, something strange began to happen. About 2.5 years of not really interacting with the rentahitman.com domain, Bob decides to log into the email address attached to the website. And to the man's surprise, he had actually been contacted. Quite a few times, in fact. Bob had received close to 300 emails during the time away from his comically titled website. But as the man read through these emails, it became clear that not everyone was in on the joke. In these emails, some folks appeared to be genuinely trying to contact this rentahitman.com website in an effort to get people killed. These individuals operating under the assumption that rentahitman.com was an actual murder-for-hire website on the normal internet. And upon seeing these emails, Bob was both bewildered and disturbed. I mean, we've all heard talk.
Money, how stupid do you have to be, bruh? How stupid do you have to be, bro? Like, come on, bro. Y'all really, like, underestimate the freaking police, bruh.
All tales of hitmen being hireable on the dark web, but you know, for people to be messaging him legit requests, like when your site is just on the broad day internet, he couldn't believe it. Granted, many of these hit requests.
You know the crazy thing is, people like society trusts like the government and police to be smart enough to protect us from like global threats, but but at the same time they don't think they're smart enough to catch on to like little ploys like this. You really think if the shit was this easy, this many people would be walking around safely, just living their life safely? Which I'm not saying that you can't rent a hitman. You know, I'm pretty sure there's ways to rent hitmen, but it's not this, you know, conspicuous. It's not just like, okay, out in the day like this.
Were people trolling, but a small handful of the requests Bob received were serious as a heart attack, and the man felt a moral obligation to turn these murder-for-hire solicitors over to the police, which segues us into the many people that have been arrested and criminally convicted thanks to rentahitman.com and them essentially self-reporting their murderous desires to Bob, believing his website's actually legit. Bob's first murderous page visitor was a woman named Helen Kaplan. Helen Kaplan contacted Bob via rentahitman.com in 2010. The woman claimed she was located in Canada and explained in an email how she had been swindled out of her father's inheritance by estranged family members.
Helen's email was pretty long and convoluted. I could tell this lady was not healthy. Let's put it that way.
The woman continued, stating that she had no money, no place to live, and that she was stranded in Canada with no passport and couldn't get back home to UK. Her life was essentially a mess and she wanted that money back. This disgruntled and apparently isolated woman was soliciting hitman services from Bob's website and sought retaliation against her estranged relatives, wanting them dead so that she could have sole claim to the aforementioned inheritance. Bob found Helen's inquiry particularly disturbing.
Shit get real wicked when it comes to that money, man.
As Helen had provided full legal names and physical addresses of the hit targets. The majority of the requests that Bob received on his websites were never this specific. When people got detailed like this, that's when red flags flew. While he was disturbed by this initial email, Bob wouldn't immediately act. It wouldn't be until he received a second follow-up email that the man decided to engage with this would-be hitman solicitor. The second email from Helen was simply titled Urgent. This ominous communication contained additional details about Helen's hit request, as well as corroborating information about her targets. Feeling confident that the woman was genuinely seeking out a hitman, Bob would reply, saying, "Do you still require our services? Would you like me to put you in contact with the field operatives?" Confirming her intent, Helen would simply reply, "Yes."
It was pretty eye-opening. I could tell. I just had this
I ain't gonna lie. I know this motherfucker's a good ass prankster, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
instinct that she was serious about what she wanted done.
There was no doubt regarding the woman's interest at this point, and Bob would spring into action, printing out his emails and turning them over to police. Bob took everything he had to local authorities. His findings would make their way to Canadian law enforcement, and an investigation was launched into Helen Kaplan and her rent-a-hitman messages. During the course of the investigation of the woman, police found that Helen Kaplan was actually a wanted woman with active warrants out for her arrest in the United Kingdom for various crimes. And after reviewing Bob's evidence, Canadian authorities felt confident that she really was trying to kill her family members. She was taken into custody. The woman spent 126 days incarcerated in Canada before being extradited back to the United Kingdom to face justice. This initial incident with Helen Kaplan made Bob realize that his website could actually be used as a tool to aid law enforcement and stop killers. And with this in mind, he decided to dedicate more time to the Rent-A-Hitman project. He would redesign the page, check the emails more regularly. Bob even adopted a satirical hitman pseudonym / alter ego, going by the name of Guido Finelli when he communicated with would-be hitman hirers. It's important to note that when designing his website, Bob made a conscious decision.
He trying to make it seem like he from the mafia.
To lean into the satirical nature of the page. nestling small jokes and gags throughout its directory. Take, for example, the website's promise of confidentiality by way of HIPAA, the Hitman Information Privacy and Protection Act, which is an obvious parody of the real-life HIPAA confidentiality agreement within healthcare. These comedic Easter eggs made it glaringly obvious to both law-abiding citizens and law enforcement that the page was a joke and that nobody was actually being hired to kill people here. However, for the less intelligent with murderous intent, these people were often so desperate for contract killing
That shit, it blinds them, bro. The murder, yeah, that shit is crazy.
that they would ignore the flagrant red flags flying all over the site and would go through with contacting Bob under his Guido persona. And some of these people were trying to kill folks for the pettiest of reasons. Take, for example, Danae Wright. Apparently, this woman had a vendetta against a handful of people in her local community. The woman claimed that she was the subject of mean-spirited gossip and wanted some locals killed. Danae Wright would email Bob's Guido persona and provide him with the names of
This gotta be like the ultimate like stereotypical look of a Karen, bro. Like if I had to think of a stereotypical Karen look, this would definitely be like top 3.
The individuals that she wanted dead in her community. 3 names were given. Bob was able to identify that these were indeed real people by using Facebook. All of them were residents of the city of Oakley, Kansas. Using rentahitman.com, Danae requested that these individuals be taken out by using, quote, guns, bombs, or anything else that was necessary. After receiving
Yo! What the Yo, this lady got no chill, bro. Yo! Bombs? For over some gossip?
confirmation that this was an urgent request, Bob then reached out to the Oakley Police Department, who then forwarded the case to the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. As a result of requesting these killings, Danae Wright was later arrested and eventually found guilty. She was sentenced to serve 34 months of supervised probation after admitting to criminal solicitation to commit murder in the second degree. And then there's a guy like Devin Falber, a man who took to rentahitman.com to request the killing of his ex-girlfriend, her parents, and the kidnapping of his ex's child. In February of 2018, a 20-year-old restaurant worker.
Yo, what's wrong with these niggas? Hey, but he trying to get his get back, but damn, nigga.
By the name of Devin Falber found himself vexed at his ex-girlfriend. They had somewhat recently broken up after a big falling out, and Devin blamed his ex's parents for the disillusion of his relationship. Overcome with anger, Devin Falber decided that he wanted his ex and her family dead, so he takes to the internet in search of a hitman and discovers rentahitman.com. Devin then submitted a request form on the site. He was soliciting the murder of his ex-girlfriend, her mother, and her stepfather, also adding that he wanted his ex-girlfriend's baby kidnapped and taken to Texas so that he could start a new life with the baby and his new girlfriend. Bob, under his Guido alias, would receive this communication and felt that it was a serious inquiry, so he probed the guy a little bit to get more info. Bob says, quote, "This kid was so persistent. Again, I asked the 2 questions. He responded right away, said yes, this is the address. Make sure you get the job done." He was so persistent over the next 10 to 12 days, the guy saying, "How come the job's not done yet? I've given you everything you need to know about where they can be found. Remember, don't kill the baby." It was clear as day this dude was really looking for a hitman.
That nigga is dumb as hell. Bro, how do niggas just how do niggas even make it to like adulthood being this dumb, bro? Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I'm surprised natural selection hasn't taken these niggas out. How can you be this? How can you be this dumb, bro? Nah, you really, it's gotta be just like their lust for murder. I ain't gonna lie.
Following his normal protocol, Bob would then report Devin to the authorities, who then launched an investigation and set up a sting operation to try to nail down Devin. This operation involved a sheriff's office investigator posing as a hitman and contacting Devin over the phone. This call was said to have been recorded and reportedly contained Devin confessing to wanting the killings done. It said that in regard to the child kidnapping request, he said, quote, "I could be a really good father to her, but I need those 3 people taken out before I can do anything." In light of this confession, Devin Falber would be arrested on February 12th of 2018. While in jail, it said that Falber unwittingly bragged to a police informant, stating that he was only going to get probation from his crime and that when he got out, he would attempt to kidnap his ex's child. This obviously didn't help things when it came to his trial. In March of 2019, Devin was sentenced to serve 20 years in prison with 10 years suspended after pleading guilty to 2 counts of solicitation to commit first-degree murder.
Yeah, get that nigga out of here, bro.
Rent2Hitman.com's next notable perp was busted after trying to hire a hitman in a way to satisfy his sexual fantasy. In December of 2019, a New Mexico high school student, a
freaky ass nigga, bro. Freaky ass nigga.
18-year-old Colton
Diddy
Beal
ass nigga,
attempted
bruh.
to solicit the services of Rent2Hitman.com. In his communications, he requested to have 2 16-year-old girls from his high school strangled to death. Colton would unwittingly fill out 2 forms on this parody website, giving great detail on how he wanted his victims to perish, explaining that he had a sexual fetish for strangulation. Colton sent over his full name, street address, email address, and phone number in his forms, along with the names of his intended targets and their addresses as well. After receiving these disturbing communications, Bob Innes would hand the information over to New Mexico authorities. Colton Beal was later arrested in Manchester, Tennessee, on 2 counts of criminal solicitation. On February 27th of 2020, he was extradited back to Roswell, New Mexico. Colton pled guilty in May of 2020 and was sentenced to serve 5 years of probation as a part of a plea deal. In addition to the probation, he has to complete counseling, drug and alcohol screenings, and perform 200 hours of community service. Some turn to Rent2Hitman.com to kill ex-lovers. Our next individual actually accused her ex of being a pedophile and wanted him dead. On July 17th of 2020, a 51-year-old South Rockwood, Michigan woman named Wendy Wine completed a form on Rent2Hitman.com and was requesting the assassination of her ex-husband. She reportedly claimed that the man was a pedophile and owed her $20,000. At first, it said that Wendy attempted to use
Y'all think she did it because he's a PDF or because he owed her the money? Y'all think she would care if he didn't owe her the money? Like, be for real. Be for real.
a sort of pseudonym in her communications on Rent2Hitman.com, but she would eventually get sloppy and reveal her full name to Bob. The woman expressed that she was surprised that such a grisly service was even available on the normal internet. Quote, "This is kind of weird that your company is not on the deep or dark web." After speaking with Wendy under his Guido persona, Bob then contacted authorities, informing them of her treachery. Police were able to establish a line of communication with Wendy and managed to set up a sting operation with an agent posing as a hitman. This undercover cop met with
y'all need to investigate her ex too.
Wendy Wine in a parking lot in South Rockwood, Michigan, and confirmed the woman's murderous intentions. Shortly after this incident, Wendy was arrested and confessed to her involvement and the communications with Rent2Hitman.com. She was charged with solicitation to commit murder and illegal use of a computer to facilitate a crime. In early 2022, a judge would sentence Wendy to serve 7 to 20 years in prison on both counts. The sentences were being served concurrently. And to round off our motley crew of idiots that have fallen for this Rent-A-Hitman parody website, I'd like to discuss the story of Josiah Garcia, a man who wasn't trying to hire or rent a hitman. He tried to apply for a fucking job. In 2023, an Air National Guardsman from the state of Tennessee named Josiah Garcia allegedly filled out a request form on Rent2Hitman.com. Josiah was 21 years old at the time and was said to have been in desperate need of money to support his family. Curiously though, instead of trying to hire a hitman,
so nigga was just trying to out here be catching bodies like that, bruh? That's crazy.
Man, Josiah was offering his services as a killer. Apparently, Garcia had been scouring the internet for mercenary jobs when he came across Bob's satirical website. Josiah, not detecting the obvious trap, saw Rent-A-Hitman as an employment opportunity. The man allegedly applied on the site to be a contract killer, submitting a resume in which he described himself as an expert marksman and that he had a nickname where people called him the Reaper. Josiah would tell the website administrator that he
ooh, shiver me timbers. They said the Reaper. Nigga, this ain't no movie, nigga. This ain't no movie, nigga. Go sit down somewhere, nigga.
He wanted to get work as soon as possible. Quote, I'm looking for a job that pays well, related to my military experience, shooting and killing the marked target, so I can support my kid on the way. What can I say? I enjoy doing what I do, so...
Nigga, now your kid is probably all cooked as hell, bruh, because you done did some shit like this.
So if I can find a job that's similar to it, such as this one, put me in, coach. Bob, posing as Guido, continued to pry for information and requested a headshot and photo of Garcia's identification, to which
Bro's
the
trying to
man
look cute in the
reportedly
photo.
provided. From February 20th to March 13th of 2023, Josiah Garcia allegedly sent multiple follow-up emails to Guido Finelli, aka Bob Ennis. Little did Josiah know, Bob was in touch with the FBI, who had been coordinating with him behind the scenes. Near the end of Bob's communications with Josiah Garcia, he sent the following instructions to the Hitman applicant. Josiah, a field coordinator will be in touch in the near future. You will receive a message when they are ready. Timing is based on client needs. An FBI agent would pose as someone involved in the operation and conducted a phone interview with Garcia. According to WKRN, Josiah allegedly told this agent that he was interested in the hitman position because he was in the military and felt that it would be more exciting than civilian law enforcement. Josiah Garcia would later meet with an undercover agent on April 6th of 2023 at a restaurant in Nashville. It's reported that during the meeting, the man continued to demonstrate interest in being a hired killer, and it wasn't long before the ruse of a fake job opening up was deployed. And in this interaction, the man was said to have been offered a fake hitman job by the undercover agent, asking him to meet up with someone associated with the mercenary gig in Hendersonville, Tennessee.
Okay, but can he actually get arrested for something like this? Because I mean, he didn't like. There was an intent to you know, get someone like a specific person unalived.
Josiah would go to this meeting and was reportedly given photographs and false information about a fake target that the FBI had created. Josiah would allegedly accept the kill request and was then immediately arrested by the FBI. Josiah Garcia has yet to go to trial and is facing up to 10 years in prison if he's convicted of his alleged crimes. Nearly 2 decades after its creation, people are still falling for Bob Ennis's rentahitman.com creation.
That's
Despite
crazy.
this enigmatic webpage being covered by national media on numerous occasions and the overtly satirical nature of the page, some folks out there still find themselves requesting killers through
Negative
this
IQ
website
people,
on the
bruh.
normal web. Thanks
Negative
to
IQ
Bob's
people.
diligent work in busting these malicious individuals, it's been estimated that dozens of lives have been saved by his work, in tandem with law enforcement. And I can only imagine that more arrests will be made in the future. If you wish to support Bob Ennis and his work, I'll have a link in the description to do so. Well, you've made it to the end.
If you made it this far, I appreciate you so much for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications for me. And if you want to join the 40 fam and be a part of 40 World, go ahead and join my Discord channel. And if you didn't know, your boy definitely knows how to put that shit on, so go ahead and follow my Instagram. I'm gonna be dropping heat on there very soon. All links are in the description below. Again, I appreciate y'all for watching, and yo gang, can you like subscribe to my reaction channel? 40 Shans Live. I know I already said it, but like, come on gang, come on, do me a favor. Hey, yo, I appreciate you. Hey, but not for real though, keep turning me up, bruh. 40 Shams, 40 World. I'm out. Love y'all.